Hey, hi, how you going? It's your mate Valstride, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to build this early game beginner-friendly stash and dash setup. Now, at the time of recording, this is only available in the beta, but it should be live within a few days, probably at most a week. Now, just to clarify, this build is aimed at beginner to intermediate players who are just starting out on their agriculture empire, and so all the items in this build will be available from level 10 or lower, which is the Hoodlum 4 tier and is the point that you're able to hire workers. And one of the really cool things about this location, especially in the early game, is that it's nice and close to Dan's Hardware and the motel where Benji, who is your early game dealer, both reside. So you've got easy access to a bed there, even though you can only have one bed in the actual build itself. And then you're nice and close to the hardware store to replenish all your goods on a regular basis. So this is going to make it really easy and reduce your travel time early on. However, this location does only allow for the use of one worker, which will mean there's a lot of tasks that the player still has to do manually, but that's to be expected this early in the game anyway. And we're going to focus on producing a simple OG Kush mix that combines OG Kush with mouthwash, kook, and banana, yielding a standard sale price of $87 at the cost of only $8, which makes it a really profitable early game mix, netting you $79 per product. So as far as items go, this is everything you're going to need. It is an 8-plant setup with one worker, so you're going to need 8 grow lights, suspension racks, and pots with just one bed. And then we've got 8 of the large storage racks, 4 of the small, as well as 3 of the wall mounteds. Then we just have the packing station and the mixing station and 1 trash can. And then 8 of your fertilizers, your soil, and your kush seeds, because again, that's just going to go into the 8 plants to get us started. And then we just have some of our mixers down here up to 20 because that's their max stack. So as far as the layout goes, we're going to start with the large shelves on the back wall in each corner and then switch over to the suspension racks. Now you want to leave 1 tile space off the back corner now that we've got the shelves in. Then you want to place all 4 next to each other and do the same on the other side for symmetry. Once these are in place, you can go ahead and put the pots beneath them. You can upgrade to the water resistant or the ones that hold water for longer if you can afford it. But for the sake of budget, I've just gone with these ones. However, you do want to spend a bit more budget going for the mid-tier grow lights because they're going to increase your growth rate by 15%, which is going to help you a lot in the early game. So once you've done all of that, you can go back to placing your shelves. I'm just going to switch to these small shelves here, and you want to place these in all of the extra little gaps at the ends of where you placed your suspension racks. Then you can go back to the large ones and put 2 in these extra gaps here, and then you want to rotate them and start filling out this middle aisle. So the thing about this build is that you've got at least 2 squares everywhere that your employee, your one botanist, is going to need to walk. So he's not going to have any pathing issues. That's the key to this. So you've got to always at least leave 2 squares. And then we're going to just throw the bed in at the front end and put the mixing station and the packing station in on opposite sides of this wall. So we're going to drop that in there, and then drop this in after we rotate it. Then I'm just going to quickly run back out and grab the trash can and the wall mounted shelves because they're going to be placed in interesting spots as well. Well, the trash can is just going to go in the middle here. That's pretty straightforward. But what I like to do with these is stack them up. So if you're not aware, you can just clip these and it doesn't actually make a difference or impede their usability. So you can just clip these over anything, and as long as you can hit E on all of them, each tier, you can still access each of these and get into the storage. Now there's only 4 spaces, so it's not a massive deal, but it is some extra free real estate, so to speak. So with all of the structural stuff in place, let's get all of the ingredients in and get the worker set up. So for this, we're just going to start by setting up all of our pots, and we do want to select them all at once just so we only have to do it one time rather than 8 individual instances. Then you can go ahead and select the seed, which is going to be OG Kush. Then you can add all of your additives. So we're using all 3 for this build. And as for the destination, we're just going to have them all come to this particular shelf here. No given reason, just that one's closer to the front end. Then we can go ahead and set up our worker Kenneth. So we're going to give him a bed, which is the only bed available in this one build. And then for supplies, we're going to have him select from this back rack here. So we're going to have to continually replenish this shelf for him to keep him automated. And then you can go ahead and assign him to all of his plants. So the reason we went for 8 is, as you can see here, one botanist can only do up to 8 plants. So that's what we've got going for this build. We made sure we squeeze them all in. So once you've got all of that set up, there is going to be a little bit of manual involvement from the player. So Kenneth is going to do all the planting and he's going to bring the finished goods to this shelf here. And then we're going to come along and pick those and bring them over here to the mixing station with which has all of our ingredients in this shelf. And then once we've mixed it, we're going to be able to do all the packing over here. So I've put all my packing ingredients over there. So that's everything for today. If you enjoyed this, remember to like, comment, subscribe. This build ended up earning about $6,000 to $7,000 per day. I just tested it over a couple of days, which isn't a bad number for an early beginner build. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.